In a real life. Yo, check this out. So, like in my neighborhood right now, for example, um, in New York, there's so many vacant apartments. You see, when you sit back and you really take a look at what's going on with with the effects from this global pandemic, it's staggering. And every time, it's one thing when you hear about the information that's taking place on the news, social media, whatever have you. And it's another thing when you see it with your own eyes. I've been seeing a lot because I've had to work, this whole entire time. Um, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, to me, the narrative about New York City being dead is becoming ever so true each day that passes. I mean, to just see people, like neighbors of mine have moved to different states. Homes are being sold left and right. There are apartments that are being left vacant, and no tenants are really moving the way they were, what, 8, 10 months, a year ago. Everything has changed. Everything has changed. And I'm gonna make a video. Well, I'm gonna make a video. I'm talking right now, specifically because I'm seeing how this COVID thing is affecting the housing market. It boggles my mind to see how many people are out here buying homes as well, because there's been also, like I said, with the selling of homes and vacant apartments, there are so many buyers who are looking to buy homes. It's not even funny. I've seen it with my own eyes during a pandemic. People are looking to make profit from tragedy. It's not a judgment, it's just a reality. It's just what's happening, and this is what's happening. It's like business as usual, business never personal. You have a health crisis taking place, and the close second is economics and finance. It's business, not personal, right? No friends in business. So you just got to take it. It's a cutthroat operation. Here you go. I don't care if you can't pay your rent. I don't care if you can't, pay to buy food. I definitely don't care if you lost your job and your kids have to stay home from school. You got to give up that bread. Where's the money coming from? Where is the money coming from? For people who didn't have multiple streams of income, for people who had to shut down their businesses. New York City is being run right now by a mayor who is just, I mean, I've said this before and I have to say this again. All I could do at this point is shake my head. All I could do is shake my head. Wholly inefficient. Oh my goodness. Like it's like crazy, man. Now the schools in these hotspots, these places in throughout the city, especially in places boroughs, they got New York City divided in five boroughs. So you have these two boroughs out of the five, Brooklyn and Queens, that are experiencing a spike, have been experiencing a spike in COVID cases, just from the numbers of the people who are testing, because everyone is not getting tested. And now the schools are forced to close a day earlier. And that's a mandate that came from the state, because the mayor is just, I don't know, I can't even explain it anymore. I can't even explain it anymore. I don't think he's trolling, but it's just something about him that's just so absent, I don't know, right? It's just crazy. It's crazy. So getting back to what I was saying about this whole housing thing, at one point I had to experience a negative impact from owning a house. At one point I was a homeowner, and I fell on difficult times, and I had to pretty much the house that I own went into foreclosure. You know, the banks are not in the business of owning homes. They're in the business of making money from the mortgages that they issue out. You know, those are obligations people have to pay over a period of time, decades. They railroaded me though. They saw me coming because I was just, I was all prepared and everything, but they hit me with a 9.75% interest rate. That's a whole nother story for a different video. So fast forward to what I'm saying. Like when I experienced foreclosure, that was at a time where I had to pretty much reset. I had to start all over again, right? Like just I lost everything. That house was the biggest acquisition that I made up to that point in my life. I was a whole lot younger than I am now, and it was just gut wrenching. But at the same time, it was a huge monkey that was off my back. Trust and believe. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about investments. I learned a lot about property. I learned a lot about real estate. I learned a lot about the banks and how money works and the nefarious, shady practices that banks do and the bad actors all in one, right? All at once. And I took that with me, and I moved on. But people are facing foreclosure today. That's the problem. Like when I had to go through it, it was how long? Maybe 15, I don't think 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago. And COVID wasn't happening. It was other things, maybe H1N1 or something else. SARS. There have been so many different like mini epidemics or health crises that took place. I say epidemic to sound flying fresh, because SARS, when SARS hit, and when H1N1, I think it was H1N1 or the tail end of H1N1. Um, when I was dealing with the thing, it didn't hit the globe the way COVID just struck everybody. I mean, people. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. I've had colleagues of mine who've passed away since this whole COVID thing hit, family members who've passed away. Real life stuff, man. Real life stuff. And now folks are facing losing their homes, and when you have something like a house, let me tell you, for those who know, water damage is a mother. I mean, water is not your friend when it becomes your enemy and creates problems in the home. That can just cause so many issues. But I digress. Your home generally, because I've always worked, kept a 9 to 5. That was the greatest, most expensive investment that I made up to that point in my life. And it's like your prized possession. You want to take care of it. You want to maintain it. This is something you hold. They say when you have a home, you have money. I since left it, so I got no kind of bread. I'm just trying to make it day by day out here, try to feed myself and my family. It's a story for another day. But when you have your home and you lose it, oh my goodness, it's almost like losing a relative in a way, man. Because if you've been in that home for decades, and this is generations and everything, and all of a sudden you hit hard times and you can't keep it, woo, that does something to some. That can be devastating. That can be devastating. I'm telling you, it's just no joke. It's no joke. And now, couple that with everything that's going on right here, it's just like a maze of confusion, an utter maze of confusion. I'm going to switch the speed a little bit and kind of go into another topic, a different bag, and it's the political bag, or I would say the socio political issues that's been going on throughout the country regarding, the fight against the government and people who want to fight against those who's fighting against the government. This whole crazy stuff with Proud Boys and all that. Yo, this is like, where's this going? Are we headed to a civil war? Like, where's this all going? Where's this headed? Where's this headed? I've never seen the world really stop and operate in such baby steps, like day by day. You know, I get involved with crypto because crypto is hot fire, like super fast. things, you talk about technology, so technology is moving real fast. Crypto's a distraction for me. Crypto is a distraction, like cause it takes, but then you turn off the crypto stuff, and then you back to OMG, you back to dealing with these masks. You're dealing with social distancing. You're dealing with these efforts. So, New York. I mean, I feel like they should have just locked everybody down and wiped this thing out as much as it could, and actually have people, receive help that they need as far as finances. Give whatever monies that they needed to give. Just give it out already to help people remain afloat instead of this stuff they got going on right now, man. Because look, we're facing another shutdown. There's communities right now that are about to go through another shutdown, 2 weeks. Experience what we experienced back in April, back in May, back in June, just all over again. We're approaching the holidays. What are the holidays going to look like? What are the holidays going to look when it gets cold? Like right now, it's October, so it's not, it's getting a little bit chilly, but when the winter hits, when the cold hits, what's going on? What's everything gonna look like? I don't know, man. I don't know. Those who have, imagine you went back to work, and you were fortunate enough to, get back to work, and now you have to stay home because the schools are closed. So you have to relive what you relived already, like re-traumatize yourself over and over. Like, what are the kids? What are the effects of all of this? Like, we don't even know what is going to come out of all this. Like, how the post-traumatic stress that this is forming and that this is going to bring to all of us. We have no idea. We have no idea how wide and deep the ramifications of this shutdown of this disease that gripped this world, how wide the consequences are going to be. We don't know. They say it might last years, but we don't know. We barely know how to get by today. Even the information that these government systems, the local government, the state government, they're not really capturing the information that they want as far as the data. So it's skewed, I guess. The results can be skewed because they're not 100% accurate. So what are we working with? What are we working with? I mean, like, I don't know. This is weird times, man. Weird, hard times. Incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. It's showing me a lot of the level of resilience people have, that we have to credit ourselves of being people who just like, oh, when we're faced with different obstacles, like, we try to overcome the best way that we can, but it's scary to make a choice between whether you need to, go put yourself at risk, put your life at risk, which this whole time life is a risk. You open your eyes, it's a blessing, but you don't know if that's going to be the last day, that we're alive in this condition that we're in, you know? But those of us who just have to, we just have to work to take care of our families. I have a family to take care of. I can't just be pussyfooting around. They're not giving out any stems. I like that term, stem, from the stimulus checks. That's a joke. $1,200 from like back in April. We're in October. They're not ready to give out anything. They're not ready to give out anything. But imagine if we got 1,000 a month, 1,500, 2,000. It would have. It would have softened the blow. I think. It would have softened the blow of what we're getting hit with right now. But going back to what I was saying, imagine going to work, and now your children are in school, And then you have to be told that, oh no, the school gotta be closed for 2 weeks because COVID increase and spike and blah blah blah. But who's gonna watch the kids? How are you gonna pay? How are you gonna, you know what I'm saying? Who's gonna watch them? Who's gonna take care of them? Who's you? You have to stay there. Now how are you gonna work? How are you gonna earn your keep? Now you got to go back and finagle and do whatever it is that you have to do. Avoid bill collectors. Talk to landlords, or whatever, make arrangements, negotiate left and right, have arguments, continue to be abused if you suffer from domestic violence, God forbid, continue to, develop mental illness, because this thing, trust and believe, this has caused a great deal of mental issues for many, depression and all that. So now they got to go back to, lockdown, jail, willingly, like, because now, 6 feet, that's the law. Wearing a mask, that's the law. But who's getting arrested for not wearing a mask? Who's getting arrested when you can't stand 6 feet? It's just weird. You can't stand 6 feet apart. Oh, enforce the law. They know this is beyond their scope of control. They know this. So they hit us in our minds. They hit us with these so-called facts that they have, the facts. I like to talk about separating facts from feelings, but they tell us, listen, these are the facts. Do this, do that. Or else do this, do that, because this is the law, or else you get a fine. Come on now. Come on now. Restaurants, I don't know what they're going to do, because they started opening. Well, they had restaurants open dining outdoors, but they started, 25% capacity indoors last I saw. But in those communities, all non-essential businesses closed, have to close down. Schools closed. Like, it's just murky, gloom and doom. Sad state of affairs, people. Sad state of affairs. Stay up, everybody. I'm going to talk to y'all later. Be well.